and he didn't remember anything about how classified documents about Afghanistan made their way into his garage. My assessment in the report about the relevance of the president's memory was necessary and accurate and fair.
Do you remember when they attacked on Congress, on TV, all the DNC paid for bought corporate shill media channels? They attacked special counsel Ben-Hur when he reported that he could not prosecute Biden because he believed that the jury would merely believe him to be a well-meaning, befuddled old man with dementia. He did not use the word dementia, but it was akin to that. And now, after being mercilessly attacked and saying what a liar he was, that he had no right to make such a judgment, that he wasn't a doctor, how could he possibly know? Here, and you have to pay very close attention, and I want to point out that the question that he asked Biden to start this audio is, what did you do with the documents? Where were the documents being kept? And then you can listen to Biden's incredibly long, rambling answer. Boom.
So during this time, we were living in Chambers Road, and there were documents related to the Penn Biden Center or the Biden, or the cancer booster shot, or your book. Where did you keep papers that related to those things that you were actively working on?
Well, I don't know. This is what, 2017, 18, that area?
Yes, sir.
Remember, in this time frame, my son is either been deployed or is dying. And so it was, and by the way, there were still a lot of people at the time when I got out of the Senate that were encouraging me to run in this period, except the president. It's not a mean thing to say. I mean, he just thought that she had a better shot of winning the presidency than I did. And so I hadn't at this point, even though I'm at Penn, I hadn't walked away from the idea that I might run for office again. So if I ran again, I'd be running for president. And so what was happening though, what month did Bo die? May 30th,
2015.
Was it 2015 he died?
2015.
I think it's 2015.
I'm not sure the months are, but I think that was
Yeah.
That's right, Mr. President.
And what's happened in the meantime is that Trump gets elected in November of 2017? 2016. All right. So, why do I have 2017 here?
That's when you left office, in January of 2017.
Okay. But that's when Trump gets sworn in.
Right.
January.
Right. Correct.
Okay. Yeah. And in 2017, Bo had passed, and this is personal. The genesis of the book and the title, Promise Me Dad, was I know you're all close with your sons and daughters, but Bo was like my right arm, and that was my left. These guys were a year and a day apart, and they could finish each other's sentences. And Bo, I used to go home on the train in the period I was still in the Senate. Anyway, do you remember? There was not pressure. Bo knew how much I adored him. And maybe it sounds so, everybody knew how close we were. There was not anybody in the world who wondered whether or not, anyway. And so.
Sir, I'm wondering if this is a good time to take a break, briefly.
No, let me just keep going to get it done.
The man can't answer a simple question. He doesn't know his dates. He doesn't know when his son Bo died in relation to this. It doesn't take a genius to realize that there's something going on in the man's head that ain't right. And everybody that has been fair and honest has been noticing the trend since at least 2019, 2020. There are people that were very up on politics that were discussing it as far back as 2016 as one of the reasons that he was not going to run for the presidency, because people knew at that time that he had the onset of Alzheimer's, dementia, whatever you want, Parkinson's, whatever it is that he is afflicting this man. And the question now becomes, what did the Dems say back then? Take a look.
When can we talk to the president's doctor, and how come they haven't been asked to come out here and talk with us, given the Her report that challenges the president's mental fitness?
So look, just to speak to the Her report really quickly. Special Counsel Her is, as far as I remember, is obviously a Republican, a prosecutor. He's not a medical doctor. He's just not. It's not for him to speak to. It's just not.
I have been privileged and proud to serve as Vice President of the United States with Joe Biden as President of the United States. And what I saw of that report last night, I believe is, as a former prosecutor, the comments that were made by that prosecutor, gratuitous, inaccurate, and inappropriate.
We all know that politicians aren't honest, that politics is a blood sport. But eventually, the point here is that we have to realize that they are intentionally lying to us, that they are merely trying to preserve their reign on power. This is the whole goal. And the problem that I see is that we have this huge money pot that they are stealing from, that they are distributing to their NGOs, like Stacey Abrams receiving $2 billion after being incorporated for 1 year and having $100 in the bank, something akin to that. And she gets $2 billion. As one Democrat operative put it, they're just throwing gold off of the Titanic. That's unfortunately your tax dollars that is being wasted, that is going to supporting these left-wing Marxist causes. This is the desire, part of the desire to maintain power, in addition to the fact that you feel like a god, that you feel oh so powerful because you are in charge of the lives of so many soldiers, which is one of the reasons that I believe that for the executive branch, that you absolutely should prefer somebody, it's not a necessity, who has experience in war, who has seen it up close, so that they aren't sending sons and daughters to die in the name of their ego, without having experienced the same thing with him and his friends. But once again, the Democrats are just flat out liars. And of course now, they're just trying to say, moving on, this is what Chuck Schumer says, this is what the ladies of The View says, Sonny Hostin. They don't want to acknowledge the fact that they lied. They want to paper over it and say, it's not good to look back, now we have to move on. Of course, they're willing to take a look back at Donald Trump so many years ago and try to take one potential misdemeanor, and they want to be able to take one potential misdemeanor and change, because it's past the statute of limitations where you could charge him for it. They want to change it into a felony so that you can charge him with it and then attack him 34 times and then be able to call him a convicted felon and put him in that frame. But they should just be merely framed as the biggest liars on the planet. All they do is fight dirty, and they absolutely deserve some blowback, some pushback, some revenge, however you want to term it. not necessarily only because I want to see these people suffer because they absolutely deserve to for the crimes that they've committed against humanity, but because if you do not do that, they will just continue to go down this road. This is not a gentleman's game. This is a blood sport, and they have turned it into such more so than it ever was in the past. There have to be arrests. There have to be people that are put into jail, even if only for a temporary period of time, so that they know that there are consequences for behaving in such an egregious manner. And once again, we now know that Joe Biden's brain was tapioca. We have documented proof, and all of these people went out of their way to deny it. Well, a pox on them, and may more and more people, may you share this video with others so that they realize how deeply they've been lied to, and they stop trusting these sources as being valid. All those who defended Biden in the face of what we could evidently see in their eyes and say, don't believe your own eyes, believe us. And all of these Biden administrators that pretend that they didn't see a thing. Oh, I'm as shocked as everybody else. How could this possibly happen? Why? Because you guys lied. Because you guys saw it. It's not that you were willfully obtuse. You just wanted to hang on to the reins of power. And that is what is wrong with our country. And this is why we must starve the federal government. Unfortunately, even now, the budget seems to be expanding even with DOGE cuts. But the point is not DOGE right now. The point is the fact that they absolutely lied to all of us. And take that in and inform other people of this. And the more people that are exposed to this material, the less these sources will be trusted, the less stranglehold they will maintain on the American public. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please thumb up the video, subscribe if you like this content and you're new. Peace.